Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, and today I am going to be doing the reading for the fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I read elemental energies, and because Zodiac doesn't really work for me, but I do work with the elemental energies, and so the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These are the signs that are associated with the element of fire. Or if you have fire in your charts in a high level, the messages are for you. And if you have fire in a very low energy, any of the lessons or challenges are what you should probably check into. And I read so that each week you get a guide, a message from source, so it's a supporting message, and then a lesson or a challenge to work on for the week from the tarot. So this week I am using the Dragon Oracle, the Mystic Wisdom Oracle, and the Art Nouveau Tarot deck. All of those are linked in the description below. With that, let's get started with your first guide for the first week of September. And there are 5 weeks in September, so we'll do 5 sets. The first one, and this is your guide for the first week of September, is the Earth and Air Dragon, representing a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced to ground your vision and manifest your hopes and dreams. So this dragon is all about finding your balance. Earth and air are opposites of each other elementally. And so for you, fire signs, finding your balance would be to find your balance with the earth and air within you, but also looking at the water aspects of who you are and finding a way to balance that with the fiery aspects. This card, or this guide, is really going to be bringing forward how to help you with your balance. And it could be with your work, it could be with work and home, your spouse versus friends, things like that. And it's all about finding the perfect balance. So if you're feeling unbalanced this first week of September, this is the dragon to call upon to help you, as the Earth and Air Dragon. Now your message from source, and this is a positive, just kind of a guiding message, a little support for the week, is your choices, making best choices. And what this really is talking about is when you're working with these balancing energies of the Earth and Air Dragon, it's all about making the right choices. It's how to step forward and making those decisions so that everyone is not harmed and everything works for the highest good. And sometimes that is a little bit of a trick, because you think you might be doing something correct and it turns out to hurt somebody, and it's not that you made the wrong decision, it's that maybe that person had a lesson to learn as well. And so when you're making these choices, it's all about really tapping into your intuition, talking to your guides, finding out what is supposed to happen and how it's supposed to be. And that happens through prayer, meditation, using a form of divination. And if it's something that's really struggling and you're not sure if your intuition or your meditation is going to work, because there's times our self-doubt gets in our way, that's when you want to tap into somebody who is outside of you and who doesn't know the situation, because when they'll do a reading for you, or they'll tell you what they're seeing or sensing, and it's a way to help you make those decisions. Their advice is only guidance. It is not making the decision for you. Those choices are still yours. So your lesson or challenge for this first week of September is the Four of Wands. So this is the wands are fiery. So this is tapping into your source of who you are. And the Four of Wands card is really, again, you're working on these decisions. What's working? In this situation, there is someone behind you who's supporting you but also holding you back. So this is really about, again, finding that balance. And if you feel like there's something in your life that everyone says, oh, this is great, it's what you're supposed to be doing, but you feel that it's pulling you back, or you're sensing or you're seeing a pattern where it's pulling you back, this is the time to really work on that challenge. And you have the Earth and Air Dragon who's there to help you see and figure out and sort through the chaos that could be coming forward. So this is really a good time to start looking at the things in your life that may not be working quite the way you want them to, and not so much what other people say, especially in your inner circle, because they might see something like, oh, this is a great opportunity, but you're miserable, or it's causing you a bunch of stress. In that situation, that is not something that's benefiting you. And so your challenge is really trying to figure out what is not working, what is throwing me out of balance, what are better choices that I can make to fix this. So that's your challenge or your lesson for this first week. Your guide for the second week of September is the Rose Pink Dragon. Prepare your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted love and diamond light. Connect with the love from the universe. And what this is really talking about is that first week of September was a little bit of a struggle. You're working with making some big decisions and sorting things out. And this second week is really tapping into that rose gold, that rose energy of the rose pink dragon. And that's tapping into your heart chakra. That's tapping into universal love, which is, if you're going by the old terms, it's the agape love. It's the love of life, the universe, everything in it. It is a way to really tap in and ground yourself into this higher frequency. And it's a way so that you can look at things without being as judgmental. It gives you a surprisingly strong clarity of sight. And so tapping in with the rose pink dragon is a way to really embrace that loving energy so that you can see things in a more clear way and not have sometimes the veil of negativity or of doubt gets in the way, and the rose pink dragon can clear that out for you. So your message from Source is potential. Think big for your future. And so you're working with the Rose Pink Dragon this second week, and it's really about bringing forward this agape, this universal love, this love of, well, life in general. And what that's setting you up for is potential. You're able to see when you clear out the doubts, when you're not looking through it through the lens of suspicion or fear of unworthiness. Then you can see the potential, and that's what the rose pink dragon is wanting you to see, is your potential. You are here to think big. What is the dream that you want to manifest? What is the thing that you want to work towards? And really put your attention towards that, and then start taking the next step and the next step, just so that you work towards that goal. Don't give up just because it's such a big thing. You're like, oh, I can't do this, it's so big. Second week is about affirming you have the potential to do, be, and have whatever you want, but it's not going to manifest overnight, and it might, you never know, but it's getting out of your way so that it can actually start to give you the next steps. And a lot of times, the reason we don't see miracles, quote unquote, as they used to, or at least they recorded they used to, is because a lot of the energy you have to put out there is such a long-term event that the miracle occurs, but you have taken these various steps that you don't realize that it's happened. And that's just how it works. When you look back at your life, see where you are now, look where you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and see how far you've come. And when you realize there were things that occurred that were things that you were wishing for and you didn't even notice or acknowledge that they had manifested because you were just doing the work. And that's the potential part, is setting yourself up to see that future so that you can do the work and have that thing, and then you're moving on to the next thing. And then it's showing gratitude along the way. So your lesson or challenge for this second week of September is the One of Pentacles. And this taps right into that rose pink dragon and your potential, because you're starting something new. And when you're talking the pentacles, it's an earth element, and that means you're working on your day-to-day life, your house, your home, your finances. The things that ground and stabilize you is what's coming up. So the second week of September is really going to be about tapping into what is making your life ungrounded. How can you ground it better? How can you use the rose pink dragon's energy to really bring forward that potential, allowing you to see the bigger picture, allowing you to put the energy forward into those bigger projects? And the One of Pentacles is saying, now's the time to do that. This is a beginning period, and being it's a lesson or a challenge, setting yourself up to start this next process might be a little bit of a challenge, but it's not something you can't conquer. Your fire signs, you can handle a lot. So let's look at the third week energy and see what guide comes up for you this week. And it looks like you guys are getting 2 guides for the second week of September. The first one is the Crystal Yellow Dragon. Open you to a higher learning and wisdom. Expand the crown chakra for illumination and walk the higher spiritual path. And the Magenta Dragon, enabling you to bring forward your soul's wisdom. Awaken your soul memories and higher spiritual understandings and prepare for ascension. So let's hold those up. And it's kind of cool when you look at these two dragons because you've got the red and the yellow. And when you look at a candle flame, you always have those two colors. You have red and yellow. So this is really a good pairing for your this week ahead, fire signs. And it's really telling you, in the second week, it was all about making those decisions for those bigger plans, removing the veil so you can see clearly to move into those higher energies. And this week is all about giving you the advice on how to do that, opening your crown chakra and allowing you to really bring in that divine guidance, that divine energy, and bringing forward your soul's wisdom from your soul star chakra, from your ancestors if you use them in your practice, things like that. But it's all about this. Second week was about making the decisions and really setting yourself up for success. This third week is about bringing in the knowledge and the wisdom to help you make those next steps. You made the decision already, and now it's, where do I go from here? And that's what the magenta and yet crystal yellow dragon are saying is, now you know what you want, let's go for it. And so they're here to help guide you and bring you in to alignment with that higher energy so you see the next steps. So this is where we're going with this third week. Now your message from Source is resilience, to rise above tribulation. And you've got two very powerful, strong dragons coming in to help you see the knowledge coming in from Source and from your ancestor line. And this is showing you have resilience. They're going to show you, see how far you've come, see where there's been the miraculous that has occurred even when you didn't notice it, and that's given you a very strong soul-based resilience, a sense of strength and a sense of purpose that at times is questioned, but they're coming in to say, you can question all day long, it's there. Let's go forward with this. You have these strengths, you have these abilities, and let's not doubt them. And so you have a very strong message from Source coming in about being resilient, being able to deal with struggles and stress and the headaches. And this is a support card saying, you can do this. You've done it before. You've done it 100 times before, looking back at your life. And now it's time. You're coming upon this new project. You're stepping into a new sense of balance. And now it's time to move forward in that pattern. So your tarot or oracle challenge or lesson for this third week is the Magician card. This is a major arcana card, so these are life lessons. And this is saying you're not the fool anymore. You're not starting your journey. You have gifts, you have tools, you have skills, you have knowledge available to you. The option that you were setting up in the second week, you already have the skills to move forward with this. And with the Magician coming up saying, you have these tools, let's put them into action. So this lesson or challenge for this third week is all about stepping into saying, no, I have these, accepting the gifts that you have and accepting the role that you've taken in your life to move forward. And that can be a little bit of a struggle, and I understand that. But what you have a great amount of guides and support coming in to help you with this for this third week of September. And the Magician card is really saying, you have the gifts, you have the skills, let's do this. No more dawdling, no more dragging your feet, let's move forward. So your guide for the fourth week of September is the Air and Water Dragon. Helps to connect with higher frequencies, trusting your intuition, developing your intuitive abilities, and opening yourself to enlightenment. Express your inner song. So you have air and water. They work together in a lot of different ways. They're not an opposite. And this is where you start getting that rain of inspiration, the rain of support, the rain that's cooling those fires but not killing them. You have to have air and water for things to grow. Not so much fire, but for everything else. And when you're bringing in air and water, you're actually tapping into a very strong level of intuition. And so the Air and Water Dragon is here to say, you have this. You've got this knowledge. You have these ideas. And following your gut instincts, that intuitive knowing, is a good way to find the next person, the teacher, the helper, the advisor, the counselor. This might be a business manager you need. But the Air and Water Dragon is going to support you and give you those subtle nudges, those little gut instincts, so that you can bring in that healing and helping air and water to clear things up for you. So your message from Source is the 7 heavenly virtues, the keys to goodness. And really what that's saying is supporting, again, support card. You have the air and water coming in saying follow your intuition, follow your instincts, listen to things, and when you need help, ask for it. And the 7 heavenly virtues is really bringing forward, you have these skills to be honest, forthcoming, and very polite, and to tap into the positive aspects. If you want things to start clearing up for you, the best way to do it is to clear your inner house. And so you're tapping into these heavenly virtues, and it's like humility. Don't be too proud when you succeed. Take it with a grain of salt, acknowledge the people who've supported you, and pass the message forward so that you can help others gain that same success. And it's being forgiving, being loving, being kind. Things like that are what is going to help support you. Getting too arrogant, getting too greedy, getting too angry over minor things is what's going to slow you down with what you're manifesting and how you're going on in life right now. So let's look at the challenge or the lesson for this 4th week. And that is the High Priestess, which is another life lesson card. So this is really about tapping into your inner feminine knowledge. It's not a goddess card because that would be the Empress. The High Priestess is someone who acknowledges the strength of the feminine, and it's not a matter of, well, they're feminine stronger than masculine. This is, again, you're finding your balance. Fire is a masculine, powerful, aggressively strong energy, but you've got the air and water dragon, which is bringing a masculine and feminine nature in. You have the 7 heavenly virtues, which are part masculine, part feminine in balance. And what this is saying is to tap into your feminine energy and bring it into a more balanced state. Find a guide, the people that you're needing to support you, but make sure that there's at least some female presence on there to help with your intuition, to help with your gut instincts, to help balance the over-aggression that fire can't have on occasion. So let's look at the last week of September, the 5th week. If my cards will not attack me. My decks want to jump around sometimes. So your guide for the 5th week is the Fire and Water Dragon. This is a merging of opposites. Enabling your life to flow with loving force, prepare for change to move forward quickly, expect the unexpected, and have some fun. So how the last week, the 4th week, ended was with the High Priestess coming forward, saying, let's balance your masculine and feminine energy, let's bring in the divine feminine as well as the masculine, but you're not working with a goddess, you're dealing with everyday life, so having that female guidance and assistance. And the Fire and Water Dragon is really bringing forward that balance. This reading for you so far for fire signs is really about finding a balance this month. And the fire and water is a merging of opposites. You've got the fire and water are completely opposites of each other. Water extinguishes fire, fire vaporizes water. There's like a constant war that happens there. But you also have the epitome of masculine energy in fire, and you have the ultimate expression of water, a feminine in the water. You have the sun and the moon with fire and water. So this is really finding that balancing point of how can you find the perfect balance in your life. This whole month has been about making some decisions, clearing some stuff up, healing some things, and making some choices to move you into the future. And this last week is about, with the Fire and Water Dragon, is first of all, let's ground this and let's anchor these intentions, let's anchor these new changes for the positive into your life, and find a way to enjoy it. How can you make these changes fun? How can you make these next steps into a higher frequency so that you enjoy the journey? It's not a struggle. It's not stressful. Life's not supposed to be stressful and a headache. Life's supposed to be fun even when you're working. And so that's what the Fire and Water Dragon's coming forward to let you know. Now, your message from Source is dreams. Believe in your dreams. And that's really what this whole thing has been about this whole month, is about finding balance, because when you're in balance, part of the dream thing is finding your sleep better, because you might have been having some struggles with that, because you only dream when you're truly rested. You might have kind of like an active mind situation when you're not, like a form of insomnia, but you're not dreaming in that pleasant state where you know you're just asleep, but you're enjoying the view and the vision. And when you can tap into your dreams and really bring that into an active role, you can work with your subconscious to help you manifest in a more positive way. There's a lot of different techniques out there, from Kabbalah, from Wicca, from guided meditations to path workings. All of these things are helping you, but it's all about your dreams and setting those intentions before you go to bed. Like, you want to manifest a more positive, prosperous business. When you go to bed at night, you can repeat some prayers about being prosperous. You can say you can do a meditation about being prosperous. You can pray to God, Source, Spirit, Energy to say, bring me the intuitive knowledge I need through the sleep. But it's all about tapping into that subconscious energy and allowing a more passive way for that information to come through. So let's look at the tarot energy for the 5th week of September for fire signs. And that is the Queen of Chalices. So this is actually referencing to the highest feminine energy of the water signs. So the Queen of Chalices is the queen of emotion. She's the one who's in control of her power, her intuitive senses, her emotional states. There's not much that goes on. The other way you can look at the Queen of Cups is as the deep blue ocean. It is a person who has tapped into their feminine energy, is in complete control of their emotional states, and when the turbulence comes up, it's going to be massive. And what this is saying is, gain control. You have a depth of emotional wisdom and knowledge. You've gained things through your life. This reading has really talked a lot about looking into your ancestors, seeing the things that have happened in your past and how it's made you stronger in the now. And now you've got the Queen of Chalices saying, you have this ability, why aren't you using it? You really do have the ability to work with, to tap into, to stabilize your emotions, find balance, and that's what this whole reading is about. But having the Queen of Chalices come up as your last card for this reading is saying, it's time to work with your emotions. It's time to use that emotional strength that you have built over the years as a way to push things forward. Still having fun, finding balance, and following your dreams and your intuition, but really moving forward in that respect. So hopefully this resonates for you guys. And if you enjoy this kind of content, there's a subscribe button, and I would appreciate the subscribe. Like if you like the video, and you can leave any comment, and I do read them. My only request is that they be respectful, even in the criticism. So I will talk to you guys later, and have an awesome week and an awesome month.